Why should you work from home? I know this seems like a very basic question, but we can't assume that we already know the answer. It's much better not to assume anything so as to not overlook anything. This is a very important basic question. Why should you work from home? What kind of benefits would you get working remotely? Convenience. When you're working from home, you don't have to put on your work clothes. You don't have to get from point A to point B. You don't have to hassle about traffic. You don't have to budget for lunch. You don't have to deal with office politics. You're just dealing with work in an environment you can control. After all, you're working from the comfort of your home. Also, you save a tremendous amount of money in commutes, in lunches, and all sorts of daily hassles that the daily grind brings to the table. You exercise your brain. There is such a thing as senior citizen brain drain. If you're a baby boomer and you've been working with your brain all these years, when you retire, suddenly, all that brain activity goes off a cliff. Maybe you were upper management in your career. People would come to you for all sorts of hard decisions. Maybe you would process a lot of data. Maybe you were a doctor or a lawyer during your previous career. These involved a lot of reading, analysis, and hard decisions. Well, when you retire, it's very easy for your brain to turn into mush because you just find yourself reading magazines, watching YouTube videos, and essentially giving your brain a pass. Well, when you're doing work for others from the comfort and safety of your home, you get to exercise your brain. Maybe it's not at the same intellectual intensity as before, but you're at least giving your brain something to do. You put yourself in a situation where you can remain intellectually productive and mentally sharp. The best part to all this is that your brain improves or at least maintains its functions when you learn something new. So, if you're going to work from home and you've branched into a new area that is outside your core competencies, you can bet that you are definitely giving your brain a much-needed workout. Don't disregard the money. Depending on how well your retirement has been set up, money may not even be a consideration for you. On the other hand, if you haven't saved much for retirement, money is a big deal. Regardless of how big of a factor money is to you, please understand that working from home can be lucrative. The techniques that I'm going to teach you in this training are going to step you through many different ways of making money on the internet, as well as through hybrid solutions that make online and offline platforms. The bottom line is, depending on how hard you work, depending on the kind of system that you build, and depending on how you invest your time and how your reputation shapes up, you can earn quite a bit of money. In fact, a lot of retirees easily make six figures just working from home. Now, that may not be a big deal to you because if you were particularly successful in your career, six figures is small potatoes. But in many cases, senior citizens working from home who pulled down that much money actually put in very little time. Also factor in the amount of time, focus, and planning that went into producing income. You get flexibility. The great thing about working from home is you get flexibility. Personally, I love this. I have a small boy, and it's really a pleasure seeing him grow up. The great thing about becoming a parent is you get to relive your childhood through the eyes of your child. Whatever issues you may have had with your parents or whatever misgivings you may have had about your own childhood, you have a chance to fix that with the life of your child. It's no surprise that parents love to say that they give their kids the opportunities that they themselves did not have. This doesn't just involve money or the ability to buy certain things. This also involves emotional and intellectual nurturing, sustenance, and cultivation. Also, you get to enjoy a very nice work-life balance when you're working from home. Your work revolves around your schedule, not the other way around. This flexibility enables you to enjoy more of what life has to offer. Working from home gives you a sense of meaning. At the end of the day, what really makes life worth living is not the amount of money we have in the bank. It's not the amount of respect we get from others or the social status we manage to achieve. It goes beyond that. A life worth living really boils down to whether you think that there is a purpose to you living. What's the point of having a lot to live for when you have nothing to live from? It's all about purpose or a sense of meaning. When you work on your own terms, from home, you get that sense of purpose. You get rewarded for being curious. You get rewarded for breaking things up and putting them back together again and piecing the things together and connecting the dots. You ultimately get paid to learn, and it's really nothing short of beautiful when I see senior citizens that I coach professionally for online income generation regain that spark of meaning and purpose. Please understand that during your old career, it's very easy to define yourself based on your job or your title. But when you work from home, you define yourself based on the possibilities of the things you can do, and every time you produce something, you achieve a new level and you explore territory. That's a beautiful thing, because you're celebrating your growth as a human being on so many different levels. Keep the benefits above in mind if you're still on the fence about working from home. Please understand that senior citizens working from home don't just benefit financially from doing so. They stand to gain so much more.